Hello students, how are you all? I hope that you all are good. As we know, we are successfully finished the motion in a straight line chapter. Okay, so almost we are discussed 11 lectures. Okay, so in that 11 lectures, so maximum concepts, all the concepts, 99% of concepts that we are discussed. Okay, right. So in this session today that we are going to discuss about some previous year JEE mains examination questions. Okay, so if you are listened that previous lectures 1 to 11, you can easily understand the concepts. So once if you are understood the concept, then you can easily solve the problem. Okay, right. So shall we start the lecture? Right. So my name is Rakesh Kanaganti. Welcome to our beautiful physics channel, Rakesh Sir Physics. Right. So what is the topic today? Right. Have a look. Motion in a straight line. JEE mains previous year questions. So what is the first question they are given? JEE mains 2021. So what is the question they are given? A ball is dropped from a balloon. A ball is dropped from a balloon, moving with a velocity 10 meters per second at a height of 75 meters from the ground. Okay. So already we are discussed in a lecture number 10, stone balloon problems. Okay. So have a look. I'm just going to draw the diagram. Right. Have a look. From the ground, at what height the balloon is moving? At a height 75 meters. Okay. And what is the velocity of this balloon? 10 meter per second. Okay. So at a 75 meters height, this balloon is moving with a 10 meters per second, and it drops a ball. Have a look. Just taking the ball, and this ball is dropped by balloon at a height 75 meters. Then how the ball is moving? This ball is moves with a initial velocity. Initial velocity u is equals to how much? 10 meter per second, because this balloon is moving with a 10 meter per second velocity. With that much of velocity, it releases the ball. With that much of velocity, it releases the ball. Now, whatever the final velocity of the balloon becomes initial velocity for the ball. So, with this much of initial velocity, the ball is projected in upward direction. Now, what happened? This ball is moved like this, moved like this, moved like this. After reaching to the maximum height, again it reaches to the ground. Okay. For this concept, I told you a shortcut in a lecture number 10. What is that? So, the height of the balloon from a ground when the ball hits the ground. When the ball hits the ground. What is that shortcut? H dash is equals to half g t square. H dash is equals to how much? Half g t square. What is time t? Where t is nothing but what? Time taken by ball. Time taken by ball to reach ground. To reach ground. Okay. So now what we have to find? We have to find the time taken by this ball to reach the ground. So after getting the time, just we have to substitute in this equation, and we will get the height of the balloon from the ground when the ball hits the ground. Are you getting? Right. So to find the time period of this balloon. So I'm just taking the physical quantities. What is its initial velocity? U is equals to 10 meters per second. What is the height of the ball from the ground? H is equals to 75 meters. Okay. So what is acceleration due to gravity? They are given 10 meter per second square. A is nothing but what? G. What we have to find? We have to find time taken by the ball to reach the ground. So in that concept, I told you that. Have a look. This ball is projected with the initial velocity u. Okay. So from 75 meters height, from this height. So this ball is moved to this direction. We have taken this displacement as a plus x, and it again reaches towards the ground. So from maximum height to this point, the displacement is how much? Minus x. After that, again it reaching towards the ground. Again it reaching towards the ground. Then the height becomes minus h. So this plus x, this minus x get cancelled out, and we are write the equation for height h minus h. What is that? We write like this: h is equals to half gt square minus ut. So this is the height of the ball when it moving towards the ground. All these things that we are discussing in a lecture number 10. Okay, right. So what is h? 75 meters. This is equals to half. What is the value of g? 10 into t square minus initial velocity 10 into t. Okay, so I'm just bringing this 75 to that side. It becomes, have a look, 2 ones are 2 5s are. So 5t square minus 10t. If 75 went to that side, it becomes minus 75 is equals to 0. Are you getting? Right. So 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. So 5 ones are 5, 5 fives are 25. So we got a t square minus 2t minus 15 is equals to 0. Now this equation is in the form of quadratic equation. So just compare with the quadratic equation, you will get a constant a is equals to 1 and a b is equals to minus 2 and c is equals to minus 15. So we have the formula to find the roots. What is that? T is equals to minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Just substitute these values. So minus, what is the value of b? Minus 2 plus or minus under root of b square. So minus 2 whole square minus 4 into, what is the value of a? 1 into minus 15 c value by 2 into a. What is the value of a? 1. So minus into minus plus or minus under root of 2 square 4 minus minus into minus plus 14 5s are, sorry, 15 4s are 60 divided by 2. 60 plus 4 64, 2 plus or minus under root of 64 divided by 2. So t is equals to 2 plus or minus root 64 value is how much? 8 by 2. From this I am taking the time t1 is equals to 2 plus 8 by 2 and the time t2 is equals to 2 minus 8 by 2. 2 minus 8 minus 6 by 2 minus 3. So negative time does not exist. So 8 plus 2 10, 10 by 2 will get 5 seconds. So the time taken by the ball to reach the ground, how much? 5 seconds. Just substitute this 5 seconds here. So h dash is equals to h dash is equals to 1 by 2 into 10 into 5 square. T is equals to how much? 5. 2 1 is 2, 2 2 is 4, 2 5 is 10. So h dash is equals to 5 into 5 5 is 25. H dash is equals to 125 meters. So what is the answer? 125. So all these things that we are discussed in a balloon stone concept. So please watch that lecture. Now you can understood this problem easily. Okay. So if you watch that lecture, you can do this problem like this quickly. Okay. Have a look. What is this question? A ball is dropped from the top of a 100 meters height tower on a planet or ground, whatever it is. Solution. Have a look. There is a tower, okay, from the ground of a planet. It is having the height how much? 100 meters. Okay, from this height of the tower, a ball is dropped. A ball is dropped. In the last half second before hitting the ground, it covers a distance of 19 meters. Okay, so before it hitting the ground, half minute before it hitting the ground, half minute before it hitting the ground, it covers how much distance? 19 meters. Have a look. So this is the 19 meters. Half minute before it is at a height 19 meters from the ground. Okay, find the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the planet. We have to find what? Acceleration due to gravity is equals to how much here. Okay, so have a look. As we know that whenever the object is moving towards the ground from certain height h, its initial velocity is 0. Acceleration due to gravity plus g. Okay, and just considering that the time taken by the object is t to reach this much of height. To reach this much of height. Okay now. So what is this height? Have a look. From here to here, total height is 100 meters. From here to here, what is the height? 19 meters. So what is the remaining height? So h dash, remaining height h dash is equals to 100 minus 19. That means this is the height reached by the ball before half of the second it hits the ground. So what is this height? H dash is equals to how much? 100 minus 19, 81 meters. So I'm just taking this time as t. We have to find the time t. Okay, have a look. We have the second equation of motion. What is that? S is equals to ut plus half at square. So what is the displacement? What is the height? S is equals to 81 meters. What is the initial velocity of the ball? 0. Half into acceleration due to gravity. Okay, yeah, we have to find acceleration due to gravity. It is not a g. It is not a 10 meter per second square or 9.8 meter per second square. It is not a earth. It is a planet. We have to find this acceleration. Are you getting? Right. Into t square. From this condition, we can write if 2 comes to this side, it becomes 81 into 2. If a comes to this side, it becomes a divided by a, t square. Then t is equals to, we get under root 81 into 2 by a. Right. So this is the time taken by the ball to cover 81 meters half second before it hits the ground. Half second before it hits the ground. So how much? T. Now I wanted to find the total time, total time taken by ball to reach ground. The total time taken by this ball to reach ground. How much time it taken? Have a look. From here to here, I'm just taking this time as a t dash. Okay, total time as t dash. So t dash is equals to, so the time taken by the object to cover 81 meters. Cover 81 meters. How much? Small t plus. They are given in the question itself. So from here to here to cover 19 meters. What is the time taken by the object? Half minute. 1 by 2 minutes or seconds, whatever it is. So t plus 1 by 2. So this is the time, total time taken by the ball to reach the ground. So what is the displacement? S is equals to 100. We don't know acceleration due to gravity. We have to find. And what is the initial velocity of the ball? 0, because it is freely falling body from a certain height h. Okay. So again, I'm taking the equation of motion. S is equals to ut plus half a t square. All right. So substitute these values here. So what is the value of S? 100. What is the value of U? 0 plus half into a into t square. What is the value of t? T plus 1 by 2 whole square. Okay. So if 2 comes to this side, it becomes 2 into 100. Here comes to this side, divided by a. This is equals to t plus, what is the value of t? The value of t we have under root of 81 into 2 divided by a plus 1 by 2 whole square, plus 1 by 2 whole square. Are you getting? Okay. If a square comes to this side, if this square comes to this side, it becomes root 2 into 100 divided by a is equals to under root 81 into 2 by a plus 1 by 2. Okay, are you getting? Very good. Okay, so 2 into 100 by a. I'm just writing this equation as 2 by a under root into 10. If 100 comes out from the root, 10 square, 10 square, square root get cancelled. So you will get a 2 by a under root into 10. This is equals to, and again I'm just writing this equation as under root 2 by a into 9. Have a look here, 81 is there. 9 whole square root, square root cancel out, and 9 will be remains, because 81 is nothing but what? 9 nines are 9 squares are. Okay, so plus 1 by 2. So have a look, I'm just writing this equation as root 2 by a into 10. If root 2 by a into 9 comes to this side, it becomes under root of 2 by a into 9 is equals to 1 by 2. Have a look, 10 root 2 by a minus 9 root 2 by a. 10 root 2 by a minus 9 root 2 by a. You will get a root 2 by a is equals to 1 by 2. Are you getting? 9 root 2 by a. 10 root 2 by a. 10 root 2 by a minus 9 root 2 by a. 1 root 2 by a. That is root 2 by a. Okay. Square on either side. Square on either side. You will get 2 by a is equals to 1 by 4. If you square on either side, square root get cancelled out. Here 1 by 2 square becomes 1 by 4. If 4 comes to this side, 4 2s are 8. If a comes to this side, a into 1 a. So finally we got acceleration is equals to how much? 8 meter per second square. Acceleration is equals to how much more? 8 meter per second square. Are you getting? Right. So pause the video and write the solution. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so have a look. Third question. So this is also JEE Mains 2021 question. What they are given? A stone is dropped from the top of a building when it crosses a point 5 meters below the top. Another starts to fall from a point 25 meters below the top. Okay, so I'm just going to draw the diagram based on this information. Have a look. So what they are saying, so there is a building. Okay now, so there is a building. I'm just drawing the building. La 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 la. So what is this? This is a building. So from this building, a stone is dropped. From this building, one stone is dropped like this. So this is what? Top of the building. And when it crosses a point 5 meters below the top, it covers a 5 meters below the top. Another starts to fall from a point 25 meters below the top. So whatever the object they are dropped, it crosses a point 5 meters below the top. It crosses a point, let us consider. So this is the 5 meters below the top. So this height is how much? 5 meters below the top. So when this object is at a 5 meters below the top, Another starts to fall from a point 25 meters below the top. That means from this top 25 meters below, again they are dropped one more stone. They are dropped one more stone. Have a look. This is another stone. Are you getting? Right. So have a look. And just considering this remaining height. This remaining height of the building from the ground is h. Is how much? H. So let us consider this is a first stone or the first object, and this is what our second object. Okay. So now, in case of first particle or first object or first stone, whatever it is, okay. So have a look. It is dropped from certain height h. So its initial velocity is equals to how much? 0. And the acceleration due to gravity plus g. What is the displacement of this object? S is equals to 5 meters. Okay. So when it reaches to the 5 meters, this object has some final velocity. What is that? Let us say v be the final velocity of this object or stone. Okay. So I want to find this final velocity of this first object, and taking the equation of motion, that is a v square minus u square is equals to 2as. What is v? We don't know. We have to find. Minus what is u? 0. This is equals to 2 into a is equals to how much? Plus g. And I am taking the value of a is a 10 into s. What is the displacement of this object? Let us say 5 meters. Okay. 2 tens are 20. 25 are 100. So v square is equals to, we got 100. Then v is equals to how much? 10 meter per second. So square went to that side. It becomes root. Root over 100. We get 10. So that means 10. So at a 5 meters below the ground, it reached to this point. At this point, what is the velocity of this object? 10 meters. Okay. Right. Let us come to second particle. Right. In case of second particle, have a look. This second particle is dropped from a point 25 meters below the top. 25 meters below the top. So from this point, we are dropped a second stone. So this is a moving towards the ground, and it is a freely falling body. So what is its initial velocity? U is equals to 0. What is acceleration due to gravity? Plus g. Okay. What is the displacement of this object? Have a look. From here to here. From here to here. What is its displacement? Let us say s is equals to small h. Are you getting? Right. So let us consider the time taken by the object to reach the ground is t. We have the equation of motion. What is that? S is equals to ut plus half at square. Okay. So what is s? Displacement of this second particle, that is h. Its initial velocity 0 plus half g t square. So h is equals to, we got what? Half g t square. So now we have to find the height of this tower. Total height of this tower. Have a look. From the top of the tower to second stone. Projection of the point of projection of second stone. What is the height? It is a 25 meters. Right. So this is the top and this is second object. Okay. Now from the top of the tower to this first object. Projection of first object is how much? 5 meters. Have a look. This is how much? 5 meters. This is 5 meters. And this is how much? 25 meters. Now have a look. This is 25. This is 5 meters. Then what is the remaining distance? 20 meters. 25 minus 5 meters is equals to how much? 20 meters. Now this gap is how much? 20 meters. Have a look. So to find the height of this building, now I'm just considering this first particle. Okay. So have a look. So from the ground, this particle, this first particle or the first stone is at this height. This height. Have a look. From here to here 20 meters, and here to here the height is how much? H, and the total height is how much? 20 plus capital H. 20 plus capital H. Now this first particle. Having the velocity 10 meter per second at this height. This first particle having 10 meter per second velocity. And just considering the velocity as an initial velocity, 10 meter per second. And this object is moving towards the ground. That's why its acceleration due to gravity is equals to how much? A is equals to plus g. Okay. So and this object is at a height of 20 plus h meters. That means the distance traveled by this object s is equals to how much? 20 plus h meters. Okay. Now I'm taking the time. T is equals to t. T is equals to how much? T. Right. So from the equation of motion, s is equals to ut plus half at square. So what we have? What is S? S is nothing but the total height of the first particle from the ground. How much? 20 plus h. This is equals to, what is the initial velocity of this object? 10 into time taken by the object to reach the ground, t, plus half a is equals to how much? G into t square, half gt square. So let us say this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Substitute small h into, substitute small h in a 2 equation. So 20 plus small h is equals to how much? Half g t square. This is equals to 10 into t plus half gt square. So half gt square get cancelled out, and we got 10 is equals to 10 into t. 20 is equals to 10 into t. So 10 ones are 10 twos are. So we got time is equals to 2 seconds. That means the time taken by this object to reach the ground is equals to how much? 2 seconds. Okay. So have a look. We got the time value. Now let us say this is equation number 3. Substitute equation 3 in 1. Substitute equation 3 in 1. So we will get h is equals to half g value. What is the value of g? 10 into t square. What is the value of t? 2 square. So 1 2 get cancelled out. So h is equals to, we got how much? 20 meters. So h is equals to, we got 20 meters. Now the total height. Therefore now total height, HEIGHT. Capital H is equals to 25 plus H. Have a look. Total height 25 plus H. So 25 plus, what is the value of H? 20 we got. 20 plus 25, 45 meters. So height of the building is equals to how much? 45 meters. How much? Total height of the building is 45 meters, and this is our answer. Okay. Right. Pause the video and write the solution. 3, 2, 1. Go. JEE Mains 2019 year question. So what they are given? The position coordinates of a particle moving in a three-dimensional coordinate system is given by. So what they are given? Position coordinates they are given. Okay, in a three-dimensional system. So what they are given? Solution. Have a look. So x is equals to, along x direction, the position coordinate is how much? A cos omega t, and the y is equals to, they are given a sin omega t, and z is equals to, they are given a omega t. These are the position coordinates of a particle in three-dimensional coordinate system. So what they are asking? Find the speed of the particle. What they are asking? Find the speed of the particle. Have a look. So from this position coordinates, we can able to find the velocity. How can we find the velocity? X is equals to a cos omega t. X is what? Position or displacement. Okay. So what is the meaning of velocity? The rate of change of displacement is called a velocity. So by using the definition of velocity and just finding the velocity of the object along x direction, this is equals to, we can write dx by dt. The rate of change of displacement is called what? Velocity. So vx is equals to, just differentiate this with respect to time. Okay. So a is a constant. Cos omega t, differentiation of cos omega t, we will get minus sin omega t, and one more term is there, omega t. Okay now, so differentiation of omega t, we will get omega. All these things that I am explained in a differentiation concept. Okay, so finally we got a minus a omega sin omega t. So this is the velocity of the particle along x direction. Along x direction. Have a look. Comes to here. So velocity of the particle along y direction. This is equals to, we can write dy by dt. The rate of change of displacement along y direction is called what? Velocity of the particle along y direction. Right. So vy is equals to d by dt of, what is y? A sin omega t. A sin omega t. Right. A is constant. It comes outside. Differentiation of sin theta. Differentiation of sin theta. We will get what? Cos theta. That means cos omega t. At the place of theta, we have omega t. Now again, we have to differentiate omega t. So differentiation of omega t, you will get how much? Omega. So a into omega cos omega t. So this is what? Velocity of the particle along y direction. And z also they are given. Z is equals to how much? A omega t. Okay, so velocity of the particle along a z direction, that is equals to dz by dt, dz by dt. So vz is equals to d by dt of a omega t, d by dt of a omega t. So a omega are constants and they comes outside. D by dt of t, d by dt of t, you will get how much? 1. See, dt by dt, dt get cancelled out, you will get 1. So vz is equals to a omega. So this is the velocity of the particle in a z direction. So I'm just writing the velocity equation in the form of vector. So v bar is equals to, we can write dx I cap plus vy j cap plus vz k cap. So what is the value of Vx we got? V bar is equals to, Vx means what? Minus a omega sine omega t I cap plus Vy a omega cos omega t j cap plus Vz a omega k cap, a omega k cap. So if you wanted to find the speed, what we have to do? So just do the magnitude of velocity. Find the magnitude of velocity. That gives what? Speed of a particle. So how to find the magnitude? Already I told you that square root of this square I cap, the coefficient of I cap square. So what is the coefficient of I cap is there? A omega sin omega t whole square. Although if you take a minus, okay now. So this term is in the square. If you put minus here, minus whole square, it becomes plus. Minus whole square is equals to how much more? Plus. Plus a omega cos omega t whole square plus a omega whole square, right? Have a look here. A omega sin omega t whole square. You will get a omega a square sin square omega t plus a omega cos omega t whole square. Again you will get a square cos square omega t plus here we have what? A square omega square under root. Okay, a square omega square is there. Here a square omega square is there. If I take a square omega square common, so a square omega square common, then you will get sin square omega t plus cos square omega t. Okay, plus a square omega square plus a square omega square. So sin square omega t, cos square omega t, sin square theta plus cos square theta. Value is how much? 1. Then this is equals to under root of a square omega square. This value becomes 1 plus a square omega square. So under root of a square omega square plus a square omega square, that is equals to, you will get under root of 2a square omega square, which is equals to, so have a look. I'm just writing this term as under root. If a square comes from root, it becomes a. If omega square comes from root, it becomes omega. Under root of 2a omega. So option A is the correct option. Okay, right. So let us see the solution for this. So what is the question they are given? Have a look. A particle is moving with a velocity v bar is equals to k into y I cap plus x j cap, where k is a constant. The general equation of its path. So what they are asking? The general equation of path of that particle. Path means what? Distance or displacement, whatever it is. Okay. So have a look. So the velocity vector given v bar is equals to k into y I cap plus x j cap. Okay, so v bar is equals to, just expand this term, so k y I cap plus k x j cap. Okay, so already we know that the velocity vector, what is the meaning of velocity vector? V bar is equals to vx I cap plus vy j cap, vx I cap plus vy j cap. So at the place of vx, we have what? Ky. That means vx is equals to, I'm just comparing these two equations. Okay, comparison of these two equations. So vx is equals to how much? Ky. And vy is equals to how much? K into x. Okay, so what they are asking? They are asking the general equation of its path. Path means what? Distance or displacement along x-axis, y-axis, like that. Okay, so velocity. What is the meaning of velocity? The rate of change of distance or displacement. Velocity is nothing but what? The rate of change of displacement along x direction. Here we have vx. That's why here I have taken dx by dt. So this is equals to k into y. Okay. So vy is equals to, we got of dy by dt. The rate of change of displacement along y direction is called what? Velocity of the particle along y axis. That is equals to k into x. Are you getting? Right, very good. So let us say this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Equation number 1 and equation number 2. So I'm just doing equation 1 divided by equation 2. Okay, I'm just dividing these two equations. Okay, have a look. So dx by dt is equals to how much? Ky divided by dy by dt. Dy by dt. This is equals to how much? Ky divided by kx. Ky divided by kx. See, dx by dt. Dx by dt divided by dy by dt, which is equals to ky by kx. Are you getting one? So dt get cancelled out. So dx by dy is equals to ky by kx. So kk get cancelled out. So bring this x to this side, it becomes x dx. Bring this dy to this side, it becomes y dy. So we got out y dy is equals to x dx. Y dy is equals to x dx. So just integrate on either side. Just integrate on either side. Okay, so integration of y dy is equals to integration of x dx. Right. So integration of y dy. What is the power of y we have? 1. So integration of x to the power of n into dx. We have to a formula. What is that? X to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. So at the place of n we have 1. Y to the power of 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1. Y square by 2. So this value is how much? Y square by 2. This is equals to integration of x is dx. X square by 2 plus some constant. So I'm just sending this 2 to that side. So it becomes y square is equals to, if 2 comes to this side, it multiplies the 2x square divided by 2 and it multiplies the 2c. So 2 get cancelled out. So y square is equals to x square plus 2c means it's some constant. So we got how much? The path equation y square is equals to x square plus constant. Have a look. This is what we got, y square. So this is not an option. So here we have y square is equals to x square is there. Here x is there. So y square is equals to x square plus constant. Y square is equals to x square plus constant. This is our correct option. So this is the path of the particle. Okay, right. So pause the video and write the solutions. Pause the video and write the solutions. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. So let us see the sixth question. So what is the question they are given? A particle starts from the origin at a time t is equals to 0. That means a particle starts from the origin at a time t is equals to how much? 0. It starts from origin with an initial velocity of 3 I cap. With an initial velocity of 3 I cap. Have a look. Solution. Initial velocity given. We can represent initial velocity with a u, which is equals to how much? 3.0 I cap meter per second. Have a look. 3 I cap. 3 I cap. What is I cap? I cap is the unit vector along x direction. I cap is the unit vector along x direction. That means the velocity of the particle, the initial velocity of the particle along x direction is equals to how much? 3.0 is nothing but what? 3 meter per second. Are you getting? So this is what? Initial velocity of the particle, I cap, unit vector along x direction. So initial velocity of the particle along x direction is equals to how much? 3 meter per second. Okay, right. And moves in the xy plane with a constant acceleration 6 I cap plus 4 j cap. So acceleration is given how much? Vector, in the form of vector. So how much? 6 I cap plus 4 j cap. 6 I cap plus 4 j cap. So from this, I'm just writing the acceleration of the particle along x direction. How much? I cap is the unit vector along x direction. Therefore, the acceleration of the particle along x direction is equals to how much? 6 meter per second square. Are you getting? So what is the acceleration in the form of vector? Ax I cap plus ay j cap. We can write like this. At the place of ax, we have 6. Okay. At the place of ay, we have 4 meter per second square. So acceleration is also we got. What they are asking? The x coordinate of the particle at the instant when its y coordinate is 32 meters. So whenever the y coordinate of the particle is 32 meters at that instant, that means at that time, we have to find the x coordinate. Okay, are you getting? Right. So have a look. So initial velocity along y direction, they are not given, that is 0 meter per second. Okay, so we have to find the x coordinate. That means fx is equals to how much? X. So y coordinate they are given. Sy is equals to y is equals to how much? 32 meters. 32 meters is given. X meters we have to find them. Okay, right. So what we have to do, the x coordinate of the particle, the x coordinate of the particle at the instant at the same time. Instant means at a given time. What time they are given? When its y coordinates is 32 meters. Its y coordinate is 32 meters. Have a look. I'm just taking the third equation of motion. Have a look. So Sy is equals to uyt plus half ay t square. So because it is along y direction, it is along y direction. That's why displacement of the particle along y direction, initial velocity of the particle along y direction, acceleration of the particle along y direction. Sy, what is the value of Sy? 32. This is equals to uy. What is the value of uy? 0. So 0 into t, 0 plus half. What is the value of ay? Ay is equals to 4 time we have to find t square. Are you getting? Right. 2 ones are 2 twos are. Okay, 32 is equals to 0 into something 0 plus 2 into t square. So 2 ones are 2, 2 16s are 32. So we got t square is equals to 16. If the square went to that side, it becomes root 16. Root over 16, we got 4 seconds. We got how much? 4 seconds. So now we have to find the x coordinate. We have to find the x coordinate at this instant. At this instant. That means at t is equals to 4 seconds. At a t is equals to 4 seconds. The particle at the instant when its y coordinate is 32. Have a look. When its y coordinate is 32 meters, we got instant of time. How much? 4 seconds. At this instant of time, we have to find the x coordinate. Are you getting? Any doubts? Very good. So Sx is equals to uxt plus half ax t square. Okay. So we have to find what? Sx. This is equals to what is ux? 3 they are given into instant of time is how much? 4 plus half into ax. What is ax? 6 meters per second square into t square into 4. Okay. So 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6. So Sx is equals to 3 fours are 12 plus 4 fours are 16. 16 threes are so 48. 16 threes are 48. So Sx is equals to 12 plus 48, 60 meters. So x coordinate at a t is equals to 4 seconds is how much? How much? 60 meters. 30, 40, 50. D is the correct option. Are you getting? Any doubts? Simple problem. Okay. Right. So have a look. So this is a JEE Mains 2021 question. What they are given? A scooter accelerates from rest. A scooter accelerates. That means its velocity increases from rest for the time t1 at a constant rate a1. With a constant rate a1. That means acceleration of the particle initially is constant. How much it is? a1. Then retards at a constant rate a2. So retards means what? The acceleration of the object will be decreases and at a constant rate. How much it is? a2 per time t2. So the time taken by the object to retards at a constant rate of acceleration is how much? t2 and comes rest. Finally, the object will comes to rest. Then the correct value will be. So we have to find the relation for these two accelerations. Have a look. Solution. I'm just drawing the diagram based on given information. A scooter accelerates from rest for a time t1 at a constant rate of a1. Have a look. As we know that if we draw the graph for velocity versus time, if we draw the graph for velocity versus time, then the slope of, as we know that already we have discussed in a previous lectures, the slope of graph of v versus t gives a acceleration. Okay, so if we draw the slope, then it gives what? Acceleration. A scooter accelerates from rest. Initially, the object is at rest. From this position, it gets accelerated for the time t1 at a constant rate. At a constant rate. I told you in a graphical section chapter or in that session, I told you that. So whenever you will get the constant slope, this is what? Constant slope. Why we are call it as constant? Because every point on the slope is at a same angle from the positive x direction. Is at a same angle. That means theta is constant. Theta is what? Constant. Have a look. At a constant rate of a1, that means acceleration of the object is constant. Then we will get the slope like this. This is what? Constant acceleration a1. Then retards at a constant rate a2 for time t2. Have a look. To get accelerates, how much time it taken? Let us say t1. After that, the object will be retards. That means its acceleration will be decreases. And finally, the object comes to rest. And it's taken the time t2 for retards with a constant acceleration a2. So this is the given information in the question. Now what we have to find? We have to find the relation between a1 and the a2. Okay, so we don't know the velocity. I'm just taking the velocity of the object as v0. Velocity of the object as v0. So we have the formula. What is that? Slope. Slope is equals to tan theta is equals to, what is that? Opposite side by adjacent side. Okay. The slope of graph of velocity versus time. The slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. It is clear. Okay. So now this is an angle theta. This is an angle theta. So just we have to take the angle from positive x-axis to the slope. This is theta. Tan theta is equals to opposite side. What is opposite side? This is the opposite side. So what is this? If this is V0, then this is also V0. So the opposite side is what? V0 divided by adjacent side. Adjacent side is how much? Along theta side, T1. And this slope represents what? A1, acceleration A1. So this is about our first slope. Are you getting? Right. So let us come to second slope. So again slope is equals to tan theta is equals to opposite side by adjacent side, opposite side by adjacent side. This slope, the slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. At this time, the slope is what? A2, angle theta here. So this is opposite side, and adjacent side is how much? Again T2. T2 will be the adjacent side. So let us consider this is an equation 1 and this is a equation number 2. Just doing equation 1 divided by equation 2. So we got A1 by A2 is equals to V0 by T1 divided by V0 by T2. A1 by A2 is equals to V0 T2 divided by T1 into V0. So V0. Right. So from this equation we got T2 by T1 is equals to T1 is equals to A1 by A2. A1 by A2. So what they are asking? They are asking what the correct value will be. Have a look. What is the time T1 here? T1 means what? The time taken by object to accelerate from rest. So this is what? This is the time for acceleration. Okay. So what is T2? T2 is nothing but what? Time taken by the object to decelerate. Okay now, or retards. Here we are having the ratio of deceleration to acceleration, but initially the object is gets accelerates. After that it decelerates or retards. So just I am writing this equation as T1 by T2, the ratio of acceleration to deceleration. This is equals to, if I write a reciprocal for this, then it becomes A2 by A1, A2 by A1, and this is what the correct relation. That is what the correct relation for acceleration as well as retardation time. That is equals to how much? A2 by A1. Have a look. This is not a correct option. This is also not a correct option. So A2 by A1 is the correct option. Okay. Right. Are you getting any doubts? Okay. Write down. So pause the video and write the notes. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Have a look. So this is a JEE Mains 2021 question. So what they are given? The velocity and displacement graph of a particle is shown in the figure. So this is what they are given. So velocity versus displacement graph. So this is the slope like this. Then find the acceleration and displacement graph of the same particle. So whatever the graph they are given for velocity versus displacement. So for this graph, for this particle, we have to find what? Acceleration versus displacement graph. We have to find acceleration versus displacement graph. Okay. So have a look. Solution. Right. So what is this? This is the graph for velocity versus x. Velocity versus x. That means in a general terms, we can write like this. The slope of graph of graph of V versus X. V versus X. That is equals to, slope can be denoted by M. This is equals to, we can write y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So if a y1 is very much closer to y2, then we can write y2 minus y1 as a dy, x2 minus x1 as a dx. All these things that we are discussed in a slope concept. So this is equals to what? Dy by dx. Along y-axis we have what? V. That means dv by dx. Along x-axis we have x. Then slope m is equals to what? y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Then slope is equals to dv by dx is equals to, okay, so y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, right? So have a look from this graph. It is clear that initially the object starts with a velocity v naught and its final velocity is 0. The initial displacement of the object is 0 and its final displacement is how much? X naught. Let us consider this is a point A and this is a point B. What is the coordinates of point A? Along x direction its value is 0 and along y direction it is at a v naught point. If it comes to B, along x direction it is at a x naught distance and along y direction this point is at a 0. Are you getting? 2 points A. What is A? 0 comma v naught and B is equals to what? X naught comma 0. So what is this? X1 y1 x2 y2. Then the slope is equals to y2 minus y1. So have a look, y2 minus y1, 0 minus v naught divided by x2 minus x1, x naught minus x1 value is how much? 0. So minus v naught by x naught. So this is what? Slope is equals to dv by dx is equals to minus v naught by x naught. We got the slope for this graph, whatever they are given. So what they are asking? They are asking to find the relation between acceleration and the displacement graph for the same particle. Okay. So we have the formula for acceleration. What is that? Acceleration A is equals to dv by dt. The rate of change of velocity is called what? Acceleration. Okay. So now we have to find the relation for acceleration and the displacement. For that I am changing this formula as acceleration is equals to dv by dt into dx by dx, and just multiplied and divide this equation with dx. Okay. So dx by dt. What is dx by dt? The rate of change of displacement is called what? Velocity into dv by dx into dv by dx. Now this equation gives, now this formula gives the relation between acceleration as well as velocity, acceleration and velocity. Have a look. Whatever the slope we have, it is a straight line. So we have the equation for straight line. What is that? Y is equals to mx plus c. So this is the equation of straight line. Okay. So along y-axis, we have velocity. V is equals to, m means what? M means slope. What is the value of slope we got? Minus v naught by x naught into along x direction we have x plus c. So this is what? The equation of velocity. What we have to find? The relation between acceleration and displacement. Okay. So say this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Substitute equation 2 in 1. Substitute equation 2 in 1. So what is equation 1? We have like this. Okay. So what is equation 1? We have acceleration is equals to velocity into dv by dx. Okay. So acceleration is equals to, what is v? V is equals to, we got a minus v naught by x naught into x plus c. This is the value of v into dv by dx. What is the value of dv by dx? Minus v naught by x naught. Just to multiply these two equations, we will get the answer. Have a look. Minus into minus plus acceleration is equals to minus into minus plus v naught by x naught into v naught by x naught. So v naught by x naught whole square into x is there. Okay. So plus into minus c into v naught by x naught. So v naught by x naught into c. Are you getting? Right. So just to compare this equation with again straight line equation. Again, straight line equation. Okay, so what we got? Y is equals to mx plus c. Y is equals to mx plus c. So at the place of y, we have a. So y is nothing but what? A. That means along y direction we have acceleration. See, along y direction we have acceleration. M. What is the value of slope we got? Slope is equals to V naught by x naught. V naught by x naught whole square. Those, this is a slope. This is the slope, and this is what? It is a positive slope. This is what? Positive slope. Okay. Whatever the slope we got here, that is what? Positive slope. And a constant term. C is equals to, we got how much? C is equals to, we got minus V naught by x naught. Minus V naught by x naught. That means whatever the constant value we are taken, so that is what? Negative. So whatever the graph we are having here, it must has the slope is positive. Its slope is positive, and its constant value, final value is how much? Negative. Is must be negative. Have a look. First option. So in a first option, just have a look. This slope theta is greater than 90 degrees from the positive x-axis. So if the slope is greater than 90 degrees, then the slope is negative. So but whatever the slope we got, that is positive slope, and this is not a correct option. So here have a look. Acceleration is constant. It is not a constant acceleration. So acceleration is in negative direction and it is constant. This is also wrong option. So have a look. Last graph. Whatever the slope we got, that is positive slope. Have a look. From the positive x-axis, if you take an angle theta, this theta is less than 90 degrees. Theta is what? Less than 90 degrees. If theta is less than 90 degrees, then the slope is what? Positive. Slope is what? Positive. Have a look. The value of c, is in a negative direction. The value of c is in a negative direction, and the slope is what? Positive, because from positive x-axis, an angle theta is less than 90 degrees. Slope is positive, and the value of c is at a negative side, in a negative y direction. Therefore, the option D is correct. Are you getting? Right. For not understood, once again listen the solution, go backward, once again listen the solution, then you will get the clarity. Okay? Right. So pause the video and write the solution. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. So have a look. Here we have a JEE Mains 2017 year question. So what is that? Which of the following graph shows an object moving with a negative acceleration? Acceleration of the object should be negative, and a positive velocity. The velocity of the object is what? Positive. That means we have to check these 4 graphs, and from these 4 graphs, one graph is having a negative acceleration and one graph is having positive acceleration. We have to find that graph. So have a look. First graph we have a velocity versus displacement. Just keep this graph as a, and let us we analyze these 3 graphs, because this is the graph of slope of velocity versus time. Velocity versus time. Velocity versus time. Then the slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. Slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. Right? Have a look. So to find the slope, and just taking the point on the given slope, to find the slope at that point, what we have to do? We have to draw a tangent like this. Have a look. With respect to the positive x-axis, this slope is less than, the slope is less than 90 degrees. If the slope is less than 90 degrees, then what happened? The slope is positive. The slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration, and acceleration is what? Positive. What they are asking? Negative acceleration. Then this is a wrong answer. So if you comes to here, if you want to find the slope, just take an angle theta from positive x-axis towards the slope. Have a look. Whatever the angle here, this is greater than 90 degrees. If theta is greater than 90 degrees, then what happened? Slope is negative. The slope of graph of v versus t gives what? Acceleration. If slope is negative, acceleration is negative. So in this graph, we have acceleration is negative, but we need a positive velocity. So the initial velocity of the object is v. With respect to the time, the velocity of the object is decreasing, and it reaches to 0. So v to 0, v to 0. This means what? V is positive. Here velocity is positive and the acceleration is what? Negative. So this option is correct. If you start choosing the graph with the first one, then you have to proceed like this. A is equals to v into dv by dx. This is the relation between acceleration and displacement. Okay, to find the acceleration, whether it is positive or negative, you have to take the slope dv by dx. Okay, so this point is at 0 comma v, and this point is at some velocity v and the displacement x. Then you have to find the slope. So all these things you have to do. But so except this, we have the velocity versus time, velocity versus time, velocity versus time graphs. Okay, so the slope of graph of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. Simply here the slope at a point is theta is greater than 90 degrees. If theta is greater than 90 degrees, then the slope is negative. So which slope it is? Velocity versus time. The slope of velocity versus time gives what? Acceleration. If the slope is negative, then the acceleration is also negative. So have a look. Initial velocity of the object is v, and with respect to the time, the velocity of the object is decreases and it reaches to 0, v to 0. So 0 to 100, 100 to 0, 100 to 0, 100 to 0, all are positive numbers. So velocity of the object is positive, and the option 3 is correct option. So remaining options are not a correct options. Okay, so likewise you have to do the problems. Okay, right. So this question, 10th question, this is a JEE Mains 2018 year question. So what they are given, all the graphs below are intended to represent the same motion. All graphs are representing the same motion of the object. One of them does not correct. In these 4 graphs, one is incorrect. So pick up it. So we have to choose the wrong graph from given graphs. Okay, so have a look. This is the graph for velocity versus displacement. Velocity versus displacement. So have a look. This object is starts with some initial velocity. This object is starts with some initial velocity. Okay, right. If you comes to here, this is a graph of displacement versus time. Displacement versus time. Have a look. The slope of graph of displacement versus time. The slope of graph of displacement versus time gives what? Velocity. So have a look. This object has an initial velocity. Initial velocity. So this graph is started from here. This graph is started from here, but it has an initial velocity. If you draw the slope here, you will get the straight line. So straight line means what? Slope is constant. When the slope is constant, velocity becomes 0. That means this object is starts with the initial velocity 0. Have a look. This is also displacement versus time graph. Have a look. The object is starts from rest and it has some initial velocity. It moves with some initial velocity. Just draw the slope. Okay. So here what happened? Theta is less than 90 degrees. Then the velocity of the object is positive and there exists some initial velocity. Right. If you comes to here, also here at the starting point, the object has some velocity. Have a look. In this graph, the object has some velocity initially. In this graph, the object has some initial velocity. In this graph also, the object has some initial velocity, let us say v0. But in this graph, the object does not have an initial velocity. Okay, so the graph is like this. The graph is like this. Have a look. The graph is started like this. Okay, so initial velocity is equals to how much? 0. So all other 3 graphs having the initial velocity, and this graph does not have initial velocity. So this is the different graph and we have to pick up that different graph. Right? So the option is what? B. Okay? Right. So pause the video and write the solution. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. So this is the end of the today's session. We have successfully finished the motion in a straight line chapter. Okay, and these are the some previous year examples. Okay, right. So we will meet on a next lecture with a fresh concept, that is a motion in a plane. Okay. So this is Rakesh Kanaganti signing off. Stay tuned. Jai Hind.